their you know, their air force in the air, or whether or not they just kind of decide to stay on the ground. Here we go. Alert started. And that's the start. Wow, that's a lot of Reavers. Everyone's going at the same time. That's just so many of them heading off. What about on Woodman's side? They got equal amount of air force?
I was actually at the Miller Warpgate with you, so I'm now heading over to go find the Woodman side. I thought you were playing TR, sorry.
I'm just looking at the... There's so many. I can barely render them all. Yeah, they're coming in and out. But the general direction is, it looks like they are going for Nason's Defiance first.
Yes, same thing here. I'm going to go check out Con Biolab. There seems to be a sizable force of mosquitoes heading to the north as well, right now.
Wow, yep, and the first air battle is kicking off above Nason's Defiance. Looks like we have a number of Reaver droppers. Oh, things are having a heart attack. Right, we're looking on the minimap. There's lots of Reavers coming in from the northeast. From the northwest, and there's lots of mosquitoes coming in from the northeast. This is hard to keep track of everything that's going on.
There's another very large air battle going over construction site Beta, although the NC have managed to get a squad down on the point and are contesting it.
Well, my client, I think, is freaking out by everything that's going on. Woodman has a huge ground force on the floor of Nason's Defiance. They've got themselves Point Bravo and moving underground into Point Charlie, which is in the center, although an infiltrator has hacked one of the anti-infantry turrets. I gotta say, this is. I wonder if how's your client handling up? Are you getting much warping or anything like that, or do you get?
There is a bit of lag going on and some warping and everything that's happening here.
Right.
4 galaxies of Woodman TR just tried to drop onto the point of construction site Beta, and they are facing stiff opposition at the point here. The NC have managed to get in here and set up. It's a mess of smoke and maxes and turrets.
Things are having heart attacks, that's for sure. I'm watching Harasser just going all over the place on Point Charlie at Nason's Defiance. It looks like Woodman... Miller is trying to contest from the south. There's a lot of smoke going on. I wonder if the players are feeling the same amount of warping that we are.
There is... looking at the map right now, there is a small NC force at Kessel's Antiquated Crossing. The big battle seems to be at the north, seems to be at construction site Beta. There is an even pop fight at CONZ Southern Labs, and then of course the large fight that you're watching at Nason's and Gurney.
I mean, it looks into the south. Hunter's Blind has been taken by Woodman, and to the north, Kessel's Antiquated Crossing has been taken by Miller. Seems about right, you know, in terms of how they're distributing their numbers.
It does not seem like Woodman TR are going to manage to contest this construction site Beta. They just showed up a little too late with their galaxies, and there was already such a firing squad at the door. I don't think they're going to be able to get back here in time to stop this cap that the NC have going.
Sure, and right now we can see that Woodman, at least at Nason's Defiance, they have themselves Point Alpha and Bravo, which are the north and southern points, and the Charlie capture point in the middle is being held by Woodman, but it does not look like they have any respawns or places to get spawned in. So, oh wow, they're trying to bring in their own harassers, but yeah, I don't know how many people are at this middle base, whether it's too many people. It doesn't seem much larger than like a live server fight, which is, you know, giving everything a heart attack.
There is also a very nice back and forth, I believe even pop battle going on at CONZ Southern Labs where I am right now. The NC have managed to push in and take back the main point, but this is, at this base, it's fighting balcony to balcony with that huge open courtryard in the center, and just a lot of back and forth, pushing with maxes, trying to keep your spawns up.
Construction site Beta, and it looks like Miller is going to get their hands on it. 30 seconds to go. They're really well set up on the balconies and just watching all the entrance points. Woodman TR is here ready with Sunders to attack, but number-wise it looks like Miller currently has the base. See a couple of Reavers, well, some mosquitoes in the sky. Not really any Miller Air Force, but they've definitely got the ground. And it's interesting because there actually are Miller Sunders on the back end offering spawns, but Woodman. Yeah, this is hilarious. Okay, so construction site beta goes initially to Coldstream Guard from Miller.
And Gurney Dam is going to be capped by Woodman here in just 20 seconds. I don't see anyone from Miller trying to stop it. I suppose that Miller has decided, you know what, Nasons is more important to us. We can always come back and get
well,
the dam
they're
later.
also getting Kessel's Antiquated Crossing in the north, so I mean they're not contesting every single base.
Miller's just dropped onto the blind.
At Gurney Dam.
The Akan Biolab has also started a cap with nothing but Miller NC forces, and even though Woodman just got their connection, I do not see them moving anybody into that base.
Completely uncontested until Kessel's Antiquated as well, yeah.
Yeah. Miller is also getting Akan Southern Labs right now. They did manage to kick out this TR force. It looks like they killed whatever spawns they did have around.
It's just like last fortnight on the previous game. It looks like that Woodman is deciding to give up the Biolab. They don't want it. Because we go into the Biolab and all 3 capture points are in the hands of Miller NC. There's no there's no Woodman T here at all. Maybe one Mosquito driving around outside, but it's another free territory.
I'm heading down to Hunter's Blind to see what's going on down in the south.
I think Woodman's just decided, you know what, we're going to focus in the south. CONZ Southern Labs, yep. Web cameras, observer cam's been a bit freaked out.
Even though Woodman did manage to get Hunter's Blind, Miller has now moved forces into the point at Hunter's Blind. They don't have any maxes. I don't know if this was a beacon drop or what. But they are trying to hold the point. They have not managed to push off the point yet, and of course we all know that the way you hold this base is to try and choke them outside of the point. I don't know how long this is going to last for them.
Oh, Miller is all over CONZ Southern Labs, and Woodman TR has decided to come in, but oh dear lord, it's a lot of people. Miller's taken it at CONZ Southern Labs, but it's now being heavily contested. There's a lot more Woodman TR coming in. Nason's Defiance, who still have number advantage for Miller. It also looks like there is an attack going on a Huracan secure storage by Woodman TR. Woodman TR looks like they've got themselves a capture point at CONZ Southern Labs.
Yeah, I was worried about the Miller guys not having much max support at Hunter's Blind, but what they do have is air support, and they are trying to rocket pod the TR on top of this point. However, they did just manage to lose 2 ESFs to, I believe it was dumbfire rounds right there, so Woodman is definitely trying to methodically take this point back here.
Well, we're looking at Hunter's Blind now for the stream. The capture point is at this section here on the south. Oh, they're getting swarmed very, very slowly by all this infantry. I'd be very surprised if they're able to hold it for the next 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Normally, kind of like when the enemy's all around you. Wow. This is, we are definitely stressing the server at the moment. You can see there's a lot of working going on in Hossin. But it does look like Miller's kind of holding on to the capture point, at least for the time being. 2 minutes to go. I wonder if it's just my client. Are you seeing warping and people jumping around?
I am not still. No, there was a little bit of lags in the beginning.
I see, so it's possibly my client. I may need to restart it then. Okay. Okay. That's fair enough. Well, we'll wait till Eastern Can Depot. Right, so what's going to happen, guys, is I think it's just my client suffering some desync and some lag, guys. So I'm going to log off, log on again quickly. Yeah, because even the observer camera's having difficulties. I'll allow Redlit. You can just do some internet radio for us. Explain what's going on.
I am currently watching a small fight down at Four Fingers, where a small group of NC have tried to go in and push this lane down here. The Woodman TR have come in and are trying to stop this. It's a single squad on single squad battle. However, the cap at Hunter's Blind is still continuing. I'm going to head back over there. The NC do not seem to be pushed off the point. We kept on assuming that they were going to get kicked off of there, but there's a ton of air around here. There's Galaxy Bulldogs and rocket pods and all sorts of stuff. I don't know if the Woodman TR can even manage to get close to the point at this rate. Lots of smoke. A max force surrounded by infantry is trying to push the main lane to get to the A point here. And they are just absolutely taken out by air and all sorts of things coming from that point. They do manage to get a couple people over there. I just don't know if it's going to be enough to wipe that NC off the point.
Well,
they managed to get in there.
I can see the Hunter's Blind is going in a few seconds. I'll risk the spawn in to the spawn room and get the heck out of here.
Oh, it was a massive max crash by the TR. They must have pushed from another way.
Oh, you're not
kidding.
They
have maxes on the point. They got the point.
We're much better now. No lag. Nice and smooth. Here we go. That was a huge number of maxes. We see it on the mini-map. Wow. They just pushed in and they crushed it on the last 30-second mark. And this is going to happen a lot, I reckon, today. There's some Miller medics outside, but I don't think they want to go in there.
That smoke saved them, because I thought they only had one push coming from the middle lane, and it looked like they were wiped out. They must have come from both sides, and nobody knew they were coming.
I mean, they still have galaxies, and they can still maybe do something, but there's a huge number, 2-to-1 outnumbered here for the Woodman forces out in the... Oh wow! And the Woodman, they got Hurricane secure storage while I was restarting as well. I'm surprised about that Miller didn't come back and save that.
I'm headed up to Haid Skydock right now, as well, to go check out that battle.
So Woodman has got a Hurricane secure storage. Miller is trying to contest it. They have it under control. Well, I say that, but incoming a large Woodman force of Maxes and infantry. They've been spotted by some of Miller's air force. And it's a long run to the bridge. I don't know if there's enough Miller here. I mean, they know what's coming, but I don't see any Maxes.
At Haid Skydock, Miller has this base locked down, but they don't seem to be... They have actually nobody watching the back teleporter. So Woodman might just be messing with them right now, because there is nobody watching the back teleporter. And actually, as I say this, there is a max crash, a small force coming out from the back teleporter at Haid Skydock. It looks like Woodman's going to go try and take them back.
Lots of smoke going on. Huge reinforcements from Miller coming into Hurricane secure storage. They've realised the value and importance, and they are just mega defending the Alpha capture point. There was potential for Woodman to get to the point and save it, but huge amount of smoke on the ground here. We can see the silhouettes and the rough kind of outlining of all the Miller forces, but it does not look like the Woodman guys can get through with 2 minutes to go. I mean, they have another attempt that they can make another fresh push, but there's just a lot of firepower here for Miller. Woodman does have some Sunders on the ground floor, although they are being spotted, however. Looks like they are taking some rocket fire. They're not really deployed either. On the reverse side of the bridge, looks like the push from Woodman's kind of petered out. They don't have the right numbers. If we look at the territory numbers, actually Woodman outnumbers the Miller force, although some of the Miller force is actually in Hurricane Amp Station, so if we combine the two. My latency is 162, quite good at the moment with the relog. Somebody talking to me in the text there. The territory scores at the moment are 49 to 49. If
it's
Miller
all down
gets
to that
this,
Nason's
they'll take the
defiance.
advantage. Yeah, they'll take the lead slightly, Miller here, if they grab themselves Hurricane secure storage in the next 70 seconds. But the Miller force here is totally outnumbering.
At Haid Skydock, there was a small push from Woodman. They tried to get to B. It was just not enough. They were spotted and flanked almost immediately. And now we have a Prowler driver who is trying to be creative and actually get inside the dome of the
Can you have a look at Kessel's
violent
antiquated crossing? Because it's like a squad of 12 taking it for free. So it's 252. This is the Miller outfit. I can tell by queuing up their names. They're an NC outfit from Miller. They're currently at least one group of guys defending this bridgeway for Hurricane secure storage. 30 seconds does not look like the Woodman can make any difference here. They've got to deploy Sunder in the bottom bit. That's totally the wrong place. They need to get up on the bridge and the jump pads. It's it looks like the base is going to go for Miller.
There is, I believe, 2 infiltrators on the point at Kessel's Antiquated Crossing. I can't see them because they are the opposite faction of me, but they do not have anyone who is contesting this base right now.
So they're getting a base essentially for free. I mean, with 30 seconds, like Miller has a huge overpop at Hurricane secure storage. I mean, even someone from Haid Skydock, you always defend the bases that you have. You never, rather than trying to get the bases you don't. So I'm surprised that Miller isn't pulling from Haid Skydock to go to Kessel's Crossing and get it, because that is a free base cap. I mean, I'm going to warp over there now, hopefully before the thing flips.
I'm headed back to Nason's Defiance.
And wow, look at this, it's a free base. Doesn't matter you have 336 people on the continent, it is a free base for Woodman. A lot of claymores around. I can't believe that. I simply can't believe that. Here, take this base for free. And it's the bizarre thing where, you know, Woodman got that base entirely for free, so grats to Woodman. But Miller fought really hard to get Hurricane secure storage. They didn't need everyone there at the same time, but I guess they got it. And maybe they're focusing more on the south.
I don't know when the last time you were at Nason's Defiance, but this is the story of the base in microcosm right here. You have Woodman, who is absolutely entrenched at B. I have no idea how they're going to get them out of here. You have massive groups of NC Miller trying to push down the stairs, trying to push in, air all over the place, and so far the Woodman TR are just absolutely holding their own. But they're losing the base. They have 1 minute left. You need to hold more than 1 point. But you can just be an absolute nuisance at this point if you want.
Slowly being flanked though from the north side. Woodman's going to get them to capture point. They just flanked around Woodman. Sorry, the Miller flanked around the Woodman side. So a lot of Miller infantry coming in, and they've got themselves Bravo point. Not that they need it in the first place, but it just lets them clean up and then move on. I suppose Kessel's Antiquated Crossing isn't as valuable as Nason's Defiance, simply because Nason's Defiance is a much easier base to defend, and this is maybe why they wanted to keep their forces here in case there's a big redeploy by Woodman.
I'm headed to Gurney Dam, which it looks like Miller is about to capture as well. I wonder if they're just doing a point hold here.
We'll have a look as well.
Yeah, it does not look like any TR have yet made it.
Force. Oh, but look from the north. There is a big push of TR coming in from the northern bridge for Woodman. They have 20 seconds to get to the point. They've made it to the big stairs. There's a very light Miller force. Woodman could totally save this in 10 seconds. They need to run for the point. Come on, Woodman. Run for the point. Go. You've got 6 seconds. Go, go, go. This is my totally not biased, by the way. I'm supporting both teams. Oh, but the fact is, Miller's got the point. Oh wow! I can't believe that. So
it was just too late.
It's too late.
This is the same thing we saw last time. It takes so long to get to those points.
They were there. There was barely any defense. They should have just ran in for the point. You can't do nothing on like 10 seconds. You have to just go for it. And now here's the role reversal. Woodman has a huge force in this capture point. They've got maxes, they can res all their team up. They will now have the base back in 4 minutes. They still have the Sunders to the north and a couple of vehicles, whatnot. Now what does Miller do? Do they come back and save Gurney Dam, or do they let it go? It's choices and decisions.
They're still losing base to the north as well.
Yes, I'm at Hade Skydock, where it looks like they did finally manage to make a push to B and C, although Miller is cleaning it up right now. And Woodman does not seem to be using this back teleporter. They seem to still be just at a stalemate at the front. There's still no Miller by this back teleporter, and just a couple of Woodman running out of it.
And Miller's getting the third capture point. Teleport, yeah, this galaxy we can see going around on the east side. What's also interesting in the map is that it looks like they're going to get for free Rust Wash Awful Pit. So the same guys that captured Kessel's Antiquated Crossing are going to get Rust Wash. And Rust Wash is one of those bases where it's horrendous to attack because the capture point is so exposed in the middle of nowhere. This is really easy for Miller to take it back. Just a couple of guys would save this. And if I can actually find the capture point, derp. There we go. What's going on? So there is a 2-minute delay, so I'm okay to show this, but because the base will go in 60 seconds. But we've got a squad of 4 people defending this point, and they're just being a nuisance. And this will be the second base that they've got for free. We like have small 1 Miller guys probably spawned in.
I think we're having some blindness on Miller's part of, you know, they're so focused on the large facilities, they're losing these small ones, maybe assuming that they can come back and easily get it.
Well, if they got Hade Skydock, that's huge. I mean, that is huge. That's taking a large outpost from the enemy, and if they could pull it off, but it doesn't look like it. The Air Force is 50-50 at the moment. The capture points are all flickering. I can see a lot of Woodmen on the minimap. I mean, they are spawning in and they're contesting heavily against the Miller forces. I think Miller's really just focusing around the Alpha capture point. If you look at the population numbers, they're outnumbered 2-1 now. And Woodman just got themselves Rustwash. Another free base. Right, so Miller did respond to the CAN Biolab attack, and they have responded to the CAN Southern Lab attack. Gurney Dam, the attack force, they are responding, got 2-1 numbers. Whether or not they get it back is another issue. And Woodman's been very good being aggressive. attacking in many
Lambda
places.
has 2 squads, including multiple Sunders on the point. In fact, I think, yes, one Sunder actually drove literally onto the point. He is sitting inside the building with 2 Bulldogs facing wherever he needs to. I'm sorry, just 1 Bulldog. But this is going to be really difficult. It looks like there's only 24 people here, but they have quite a bit to help them whenever Miller decides to pull back into this base.
I'm wondering, is Miller perhaps overreacting to certain base caps? Because they are doing like 2 or 3 base saves, and we can see their Air Force cleaning up the Gurney Dams, the enemy Sunders, but they're being attacked on so many fronts. Now they're beginning to take Rustwash awful back. They're losing Hade up, so probably the force that was at Hade is now going back to Rustwash to take it back. But it's a very difficult base to take if Woodman TR wants to come and interfere. Construction site Lambda, you're not kidding me, that's also taking down. That's going to be tricky.
You should go onto the point and see where they have the Sunderer Park. That's going to be a difficult little thing. However, Miller has managed to get yet another force onto Hunter's Blind here. I'm trying to see if they have any maxes this time. That would certainly help them. This looks like another squad drop. There's no maxes that I can see. They do have some air support, I believe. No, that's actually enemy air that's pounding them. So, again, they're going to get this in a minute.
Because of the way that it's blocked off, you have to approach from only one direction. Oh, wow. In the front is the balconies. Alright, so the Sun Miller forces are flanking the balcony. This is mercenaries on the ground, but they're having difficulty. It looks like they have an engineer. So he's got rid of the Sundra. I saw him putting down anti-vehicle mines. And now Miller's pushing it. Oh, there's so many Miller. The Miller recall hammer is being called in. You can see them just approaching from all directions. I fully expect Miller to save this base in the next 45 seconds. There's so many of them on the minimap. Lots of grenades as well going off. So much so that my audio just got overwhelmed.
There is a force of TR Woodman that are trying to push into the point of Hunter's Blind. They keep on getting mowed down. They could get in here if they wanted to. They just need to throw some grenades and push some maxes. 9 seconds. I don't know if this is going to happen.
Oh, they're on the point. But they've got infantry there. There's not enough infantry. There's maxes on the point. 1 second. Oh, the point is flipping in 1 second.
That was heart attack.
Those Miller guys, what are they doing there? They need to get on the point. They're in the room. Why are you not standing on the point? Oh my goodness. And there's a resonate from the Miller. Miller knows what's going on. Lots of res grenades going off. 1 second. Oh no, it's ticking back now. The maxes are making the difference now for Woodman. Oh my goodness. That's less than 1 second to go.
Woodman is going to give me a heart attack here, I swear.
Oh, well, this is close now. Miller is still by 1% in the lead. They are taking back Rustwash awful, but it's very close. It's a difficult base to take. They're losing, they should save the Cam Biolab with the percentages that are there. So we're going to go up north very quickly to Rustwash and see what's going on there. Can you have a look at Construct Site Lambda?
Yeah, I just flew over it.
I'm assuming Miller saved it.
There was a large air force over it. I'm trying to look on the point here.
So at Rustwash Awful Pit, looks like there's only a very small Miller force. We're looking at the numbers here. Maybe a squad and a bit. They are outnumbered. They were trying to do a squad contain. Woodman is pushing with the squad round the north. If I can see the name. S12B. I don't know what the attack is, but that's who they are. What their full name is. But Miller's cordoned onto them now, and then come the maxes now. So the redeploy for Woodman is coming in force. They're approaching the capture point both directions. Lots of maxes, but the infantry's been picked off. Now, as far as the southern push is going, still got maxes. They've got a couple of infantry. 9 seconds. They need to run to the base. Stop running around. Run to the base. Run to the point, Woodman. Point. 3 seconds. They're don't go. Oh man. Picked off by counterfire by Woodman. Sorry, by Miller. So Miller did some great flanking play just to kind of pick them off and prevent them from getting to the point. Woodman loses Rustwash and Miller gets himself the base back. But so much more effort than it was for Woodman when they got it with just a small team.
There is a very nice little battle going on at Woodman ASE Labs. Woodman has the point back and is trying to defend, but Miller has spawns on the outside, and they have managed to do a run into the powerhouse building. The point is actually in the banana. They just, I think they have enough people to push through. They just need to do it.
So there's CONZ from Miller. They're also an NC outfit, and they are currently fighting. I think it's RP. It's hard to see the names. And stay still. Well, there you go. Alright, there you go. There's a guy still. TN9. So it's a mixture of platoon currently contending against CONZ. But there's a lot of blue icons on the minimap, and where's the... Oh, the capture point is on Banana. So right now they are in the Tetris building, which is the building we're in right now. And they're making their way over to Banana. The capture point is on the ground floor. Lots of smoke. They've got themselves a point. Now, because of the way the timer was, this will be a 3-minute base, I believe, once they've got the hands on the capture point. Yep, 3 minutes and 18 seconds. But it's a very large Miller force at Woodman ASC lab. Is there a spawn, though? I mean, I know they've got air control, at least they had a Galaxy. I wonder if they've got... I don't see any Sunders on the ground, though. Maybe they're using stealth. Check that bulldogging Galaxy out. Wow.
Stay alert. Enemy heavy nearby.
What a killer view he's got. So Woodman isn't sitting on their laurels. They're not staying inside the Banana building. We see a large number of maxes. They are pushing out the Tetris building on large staircases, which is where we're at now. And they're just waiting for the input. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the teleport room can teleport underneath, and then they can run to Banana, but with motion sensors I would have thought the Miller Force would move back. It's not over for Woodman, but it does look like they're going to have a very hard time getting it. Okay, look at the number of maxes. 2 minutes 20, they are getting ready. This is a big force getting ready to save this base. They probably, yeah, they're using the teleporter building. I can't imagine them running outside into the open. Teleporter is leading out. Here we go, yep. Here to come out the teleporter, but they're totally aware. Oh my god, look at the killing field. Miller immediately aware of what's going on. Absolutely decimating the Woodman force coming up from what can only be started as a murder hole. And the problem is that they can't immediately get into the Banana building. They have to run all the way around. So Woodman, I mean, they tried to be smart, but Miller totally on ball here.
I am down at Global Telegraph, where there was a nice squad or two of Woodmen holding on to this open cap point base. They were managing to hold people at the teleporters, but Miller just came in with a Galaxy or two, perfectly executed gal drop directly onto the point, had some rocket pods, killed everyone off, and now they're capping this base back.
Yeah. And just the numbers on the minimap is huge. I mean, my character's TR, and I can see all these NC numbers for Miller. Massive. And we check the population of Woodman AC, it's actually 50-50. I reckon 70 seconds to go. Woodman, wherever they are, yeah, right, my minimap's trying to load, are going to have at least one more go. They're going to at least have one more shot with 60 seconds to go. How they push out is up to them. Whether or not they try to go to Tetris building and then into Banana, we'll see. Doesn't look like they're being super organized or in one concerted force. My minimap isn't necessarily upgrading. No, this is a couple of scrubby guys. They're not going to do anything. They need to go as one big, massive armored push. Yeah, I mean, it looks like the concerted push has happened. Some guys have, and then the max timers are going to be a problem. So other people are pulling maxes. We see Bursters and Flak trying to deal with the Bulldog Galaxy, who's finally been moved off that ridgeline, but he's been a huge nuisance, and forcing these maxes to pull Bursters and not other weaponry that would be more effective in the push of Banana. Woodman is on the flank, so I take that right. So they are on the south, they are on the right side of Banana. The capture point is on the ground floor. Those Woodman forces, 18 seconds, you need to run inside. You just need to conk grenades, AV grenades, and go, go, go. But the Woodman, the Miller force on the inside, oh, there's so many Millers on the ground floor, they know the value of the point. Everyone's being called back to the point, and they're just defending it. And unlike the previous instances, I don't think, so CONZ is the dominant outfit here, and I don't think that Woodman can clean up and hold the point like they have in previous captures. So that's another base to Miller.
At Hunter's Blind, again, Miller was right back. Still no maxes with the beacon drop. They had air. And Woodman has been really, really on the ball with their counter max crashes to try and get this point back. However, Miller is not going anywhere. They gal drop back on top of the point. They are dropping back into their beacons, and they are here.
Now this is an interesting thing, Redland. And originally, Woodman was doing really well on the start, being very aggressive and getting lots of bases, but I think the aggression's turned that. I think Miller's now being on the aggressive, you know, being on the front foot, and they're getting bases, and it's not a slow thing. They are slowly chipping away at the Woodman, getting base after base.
I mean, it is so close still. So many of these bases are coming down to last-second saves, and I wonder if Miller is basically just playing the game that we saw yesterday. Okay, you kicked us off, we're coming right back. See if you can do it again. At some point, you're going to screw up and be off by a couple seconds.
I mean, and they're being smart. They're not just staying inside the capture building at Hunter's Blind. They have got the capture buildings, but they're also fighting outside, preventing the Woodman force from getting close to the building and using, grenades in a closed environment.
I am headed up to Kessel's Antiquated, where it looks like Miller is trying to get that base back. So maybe they just figured, you know what, we can always get those back. They're quick captures. We need to get the stuff that's important to us first.
Right. It does not look, I mean, look at the percentage numbers, it's actually 50-50. Oh wow, huge Air Force from Woodman just came in, but it is too late with 16 seconds to go. The Air Force has been called in to get rid of Miller's galaxies and prevent them from dominating, but on 10 seconds to go, there was a couple of guys, they're running in absolutely desperate last second, but they're poorly being decimated by Miller's ground crew. And the Air Force battle that's going on, I'm trying to see this mosquitoes. Oh yes, there's definitely a mosquito kill force going on, ripping apart Miller Sky Whales. But, it was nice, visually very impressive. They decided to come in and make an impact, but it was just a little bit too late and they lost the base. If they can get rid of Miller's galaxies and their Reaver escort force, it will prevent Miller from, the ease of movement and moving on, and the Sunder and the whole type of control that you can get by having air.
This is just a microcosm here at Kessel's. Coldstream Guard was holding for Miller on the point, and they were backed all the way to the point. They had no spawn contain anywhere. And the TR from Woodman that managed to push in, they were just a couple seconds too late. Had they been 2 or 3 seconds quicker, they probably would have cleared them off and gotten that point back. But here again, a base goes to Miller.
The
when
Air Force
it
is
was
left and they've backed away. They're heading back to their own territory. At Gurney Dam, it's 50-50. Miller's made a save. Large number of armor and perhaps a group ready to attack on the east side, but base is being saved by Miller for now. Kessel's Antiquated Crossing, Miller's outnumbered in the north. Are you at Kessel's right now?
I am. There is a Sunder that is parked at the eastern garage, but much more importantly, and I think this might be something we haven't noticed yet, there are 5 empty Skyguards parked here, which to me makes me wonder, has Woodman just decided to give up the air? I have not been paying attention to many air forces, but when you see that many Skyguards, it makes you wonder, has somebody just decided we're going to try and prevent the air rather than actually test it?
But look at the force at Gurney Dam, they've been sidestepped. Miller's moved on to Ixtab power regulation. That's why they can't do anything. So we're looking at power regulation. And I'm going to make a quick pit stop in the spawn room to get rid of the implant because I'm out of power.
There is a very large force of TR Woodman that is trying to methodically push back to this point at Kessel's Antiquated. They haven't quite gotten there yet, and they're vulnerable to some air that Miller has brought in, but they are slowly making that push.
So inside Ixtab power regulation, Miller is on the upper raised platform above the capture point, using it as their vantage point. They're making good work of picking off a lot of Woodman's infantry on the ground. But grenades are going in. The problem is the grenades are bouncing off on the wrong side. They're just going straight over. Oh wait, I take that back. The explosion's going to go off. Oh, so lots of grenades by Woodman making exceptionally good push against this Miller force in the point. And if anything, this is an exceptionally good harassment by Miller, forcing Woodman to come back and defend their own base rather than attacking a Miller base.
Miller did just come in with a decent-sized air force to Kessel's Antiquated, but they were a few moments too late. The TR are now on the point. The air can't do anything to them down there. They can, blow up some Skyguards.
What are we?
That's about it.
We are 34 minutes into the ServerSmash, guys. Here's some fun statistics for you. There have been 7,600 kills so far. There have been 8,200 deaths. And there has been 600 TKs so far in this ServerSmash, and we are only about we've got like an hour and a half to go, so this is going to be huge numbers. Oh, this is an interesting thing compared to yesterday. The top 10 weapons, they're not heavy assault weapons today. Top 10 kills, get this, anti-vehicle grenades has second spot, currently 308. The Carnage AR, the medic gun from Miller, is the top gun right now at 322 kills. And then comes the heavy assault guns, the LA1 Anchor and the T7 minigun. The T7 mini chain gun? What about the Gauss? Not the Gauss, sorry, the Carve.
Oh, but when you have tightly packed enemies, Oh man,
Chain gun, you think?
the chain gun is delicious when you have tightly packed enemies.
So Miller, okay, so the Air Force for Woodman is pushing north above Ixtab. Oh, they've gone to Moss Ridge Command Center. That's what's going on. If I can find my waypoint.
There is a small NC secure force that is trying to push the TR off of Kessel's Antiquated Crossing. They have not managed to get onto the point yet, and I'm wondering if they are going to need a little bit more people here. I think Miller has been relying a lot on its air superiority, and the air superiority does not matter at this base. You can't get down there and fire at the point. So
sure. And this is one of the things we're noticing actually right now. Miller likes to use their Bulldog Galaxies. They're great respawns, they're great reinforcements, they're very good for suppression of Bulldogs, and they're trying to make an aggressive push. They've taken Woodman ASC, so we missed that, but Moss Ridge Command Center, they're trying to push deep into Woodman's territory, and they're using their Galaxies to respawn in, as we just see this fresh Miller squad on top of A. But Woodman has got the capture point back, and their Air Force is systematically picking away and chipping off but Miller has brought in their own Reaver force, and now there is a huge sky fight going on. Miller's Air Force saying, I don't think so. I'm not allowed to use any terminology. I have to be completely neutral. Come on, Woodman, you can do well, but at the moment there's a lot of Reavers. It looks like they're dominating Woodman's Air Force.
Woodman is less than a minute away from taking Kessel's Antiquated Crossing, and I do not see, with the number of people that Miller has here, them taking this point. They just got absolutely chewed apart at the doorways when they tried to do their last push. They don't seem to be making a counterflank or setting up a sunder from behind, which is another way to approach this base. I don't see that set up, and they just have some Galaxies impotently firing Bulldogs around.
Sunder that Woodman has sneakily hidden to the south behind the rocks. Miller's Air Force totally doesn't see it at Kessel's Antiquated Crossing. Lots of engineer turrets that we're finally showing now on stream. Miller does have some guys. Oh, there's one heavy assault. He's right by the base. Oh, he didn't get inside. The capture point, you're right. So many Woodman forces. Looks like they'll get the base maybe, but there's a last push with maybe some Maxes coming in from the northwest by Miller. 9 seconds to go, they need to run to the point. So Max is on the point. He's trying to kill off as many of these guys. He needs infantry support. 3 seconds. Where's his infantry support? This Max is doing everything he can possibly can. Oh, it's not enough. Well done to Woodman. They've managed to get themselves Kessel's Antiquated Crossing. Let's flip back again. So territory now is 55% for Miller, 44% for Woodman. We're quick looking at the map.
I'm at Ixtab power regulation, and it seems like Miller is mostly on top of this base right now. They have not managed to, they've lost the point down actually inside the building, and most of their people are actually on the roof, which again also tells you how secure they are in owning the air.
Yeah. Currently I'm at Space Rice Paddy, SRP, and it looks like Miller's trying to reinforce. They've got themselves a Sunder deployed. Woodman, however, has the capture point. They've got the captured building. The Air Force is, again, in control. Miller has it. They've got Liberator, Reavers, and some Galaxies. And Miller's on the point. Sorry, Woodman's on the point, but Miller trying to take the point back. Is constantly applying pressure. If Woodman manages to capture this base, or sorry, I should say, make a save, it'd be an excellent time to have an infiltrator on Hunter's Blind just to kind of nullify all of Miller's numbers here.
Woodman did manage to take the point back at Ixtab power regulation. However, the NC Miller did manage to push back in. They're trying to hold from the little balcony above the A point, and they've managed to get the point back. And I actually think they pretty much kicked the push from the TR out of here. I'm trying to find some TR left. It's got really quiet here all of a sudden.
And it happened exactly as I said. Hunter's Blind, there was an infiltrator. He did start the cap on Hunter's Blind, and all of Miller's forces currently at SRP are not going to do anything. And it looks like actually they're bringing a squad. They're jumping in, so they're actually beginning to reinforce their capture point on Hunter's Blind. So now Woodman, good to see them taking the aggressive front foot, and Miller's on the defensive in the south. And even bringing in Maxes and groups. So Woodman have obviously got themselves a spawn and perhaps a Sunder. Yep, there's one Sunder and there's a second Sunder, so they are ready. They were ready for this. They're getting themselves set up for a proper defense. And Miller's going to have to leave, even though they outnumber them at SRP Hydroponics. They're going to have to leave and come back to Hunter's Blind. There's an attempted capture at Gurney Dam, but it looks like Miller stopped at the last moment, and that ticker's now.
Yes, I just noticed that.
So that defensive force, do they stay at Gurney Dam to make sure that the ticker goes back as quickly as possible? It's actually probably safe to go to Gurney Dam because IGSTAB power regulation is at least 2 minutes. So all of the Miller forces at Gurney Dam, now that they've made the save, they can probably leave and come to Hunter's Blind and make a difference. Speaking of Hunter's Blind, we can see that Woodman has got themselves at least one galaxy. They've got themselves lots of Sunders surrounding the base, and they're not staying at the capture point. They are absolutely trying their best to suppress the spawn rooms.
Miller is also about 90 seconds away from getting east to CONZ storage and completely locking off the biolab, although the biolab has not really been a major focus of the fight, but it does just allow them to completely lock off a series of bases that, you know, say, okay, you don't have any connection, you can't take them quickly. There is a small TR force that looks like it's trying to make it to the point right now. I'm trying to find them.
Oh, you missed that. 2 galaxies flew onto the canopy from Miller to try and avoid flak, and they just rammed each other. Completely didn't notice it. 2 giant whales just going kabonk and then killing each other. That looked painful. So the rest of Miller's Air Force, they're trying to take out the galaxy, but there's a lot of flak for Woodman. They've brought in some burster maxes, just keeping Miller's Air Force at bay. Although it really looks like just a couple of air stragglers. And a minute 40 now for the base. Percentage numbers, what we got here? It's 50-50. Miller has a force. Alright, so they're beginning to push in. We see their numbers coming in. They're coming on the top balcony. Massive push from Miller coming across the top balcony. Doesn't look like Woodman's got enough. They got a lot of maxes up here, but they're going to get flanked from AB grenades or conch grenades are going to kill them out. Oh, very good explosives going on, taking out Woodman's max force on the top bridge. Still got 70 seconds. Miller's got plenty of time to get to the capture point if they want. Woodman needs to reinforce as fast as they can and just keep Miller as far away from the capture building for as long as possible. But there's a second flank going in from the east. Miller's getting much closer to the capture building. They still have maxes and they still have infantry. They're right outside the door of the A capture point. The maxes inside from Woodman are dead, and Miller's pushing to the capture point, and that's it, the flipping point.
So I was at Easticon Storage Depot, and this is becoming, unfortunately, something of a theme for Woodman. They had the numbers, they had the maxes, they were pushing up the stairs, and they were 2 seconds too late to get to the point. Again, there are so many bases on Hossin.
And then when Miller came back
so
and
long.
they took it.
It
Even with
takes
the
so
shield.
long.
Oh, the shield was fixed as well. Oh, that's gotta hurt. Because the
And that's
shield
the
is
thing,
so
it
powerful,
takes-
this base.
It takes so long to get from the spawn room to the point. You have to give yourself more time. You can't redeploy 30 seconds in. It takes 35 seconds to run from the point to the actual, or from the spawn room to the point.
So as another attack attempt now, we got a small force of Woodman trying to attack construction site Beta. Doesn't look like there's more than one and a bit squads. Kessel's Antiquated Crossing is Miller's trying to make a really good strong push. Oh, Moss Ridge! I completely missed Moss Ridge. Miller's being really good. Oh wow! No wonder they. So Miller's Air Force is here in galore. This is their focus right now. 27 seconds. The problem is without any Air Force for Woodman, there's just no way they can get outside the spawn room. They're being absolutely suppressed. Seconds to go. I don't see how Woodman can save this. And inside the capture point itself, Woodman's got a lot of work to do. I mean, the balconies are covered. Miller's got the whole thing covered. They get the base by Wasp. That's Wasp from Miller. So they've got themselves Moss Ridge, and they're trying to get them IGSTAB. They need to make a save on Woodman ASC, although I'd imagine they would do so because they're the only people in the base. They're applying pressure to IGSTAB power regulation. From Moss Ridge Command Center, they can push the Scarred Mesa outpost. How's Kesselring going at the moment?
There was a small push from the TR that was just utterly crushed by the NC. Miller has multiple maxes on this point. I think they learned from the last time that they were kicked off of here, and they brought, I would say, there's got to be at least 10 maxes around here. And they managed to crush it. I have not seen another push from the TR yet. I'm going to go try and see if they're coming out of their spawn room somewhere right now.
So the Miller force that was at Moss Ridge Command, I think they've moved and redeployed, but the fact is, there is a huge Woodman Air Force, unfortunately about a minute too late. If they were here about a minute or 2 minutes before, they could have made a massive difference, simply wiping out the Miller's Air Force and allowing freedom of the ground from the spawns, but as it is, it's too late. Now, with their guys on the ground, does the Air Force stay here? Do they realize we have to take Moss Ridge Command Center back? Or do they go to power regulation? It looks like they're actually saving power regulation. There is some kind of conflict between Miller's Air Force and Woodman's Air Force. I didn't see whether or not Woodman's Air Force was able to clean up Miller's, or whether or not Miller's just left the area of engagement. But right now there is a big fight going on, although it looks mainly like Mosquitoes taking down Galaxies and Liberators rather than Reavers. And Ixtab power regulation looks like it's been saved with 1 minute to go. Although, how is this Galaxy still alive?
Kessel's, there was a one last push from TR, and it just failed. I believe that this is going to be captured here. Yeah, 2 seconds now to Kessel's being in control of Miller.
Oh, there you go. So
and that
Woodman
was
gets
RPS.
Crossing. A bit construction site beta. Is Woodman going to get it? Because they're on 25 seconds.
I'm heading over there now.
Oh, the points flipping. Woodman's made a save. They have complete... No, sorry, Miller's made a save. They completely dominate the point.
And their Air Force is... I mean, it is impressive from one perspective. As you come over, you just see platoons worth of air over there. But you also realize that they can't do anything about the point. That's great you have the air coverage and you can stop people from pushing there, but you got to get people down on the point.
But
and
if
Miller
got
seems to be winning that.
The thing is, I wonder if Miller's playing smart. I mean, they've got a lot of galaxies, but the fact is, if you're working on a platoon system, as long as you have one galaxy per squad member, then that means you can rapidly move your entire squad around. You can move your entire force very, very quickly.
Over a con data hub, the two air forces have found each other. There is at least a platoon of Mosquitoes that is coming after the large force of NC air that was not prepared in the least. I just watched their entire eastern or southern flank get wiped out here. I'm going to see what they can do about this.
I think it's this most
That
for
was a
galaxies.
straight
I don't
ambush.
see the Reavers for Miller. And the thing is,
That was a massive ambush.
if Woodman's going to keep this death ball of Mosquitoes, which is, don't get me wrong, it's super effective at clearing the air, they need to be aggressively hunting across the entire continent wherever Miller pulls their air and constantly dominating it. Or alternatively, they need to be helping their guys on the ground pounding away like Miller has been.
Hunters are
Miller's
blind.
Reaver force is coming. Yep, Dots, what's up?
Hunters are blind.
It's about to flip in favor of Woodman. I'm heading over there now.
So it is 50-50. I don't think I can make it in time.
I don't think I can either, but I'll try. We got distracted by the air battle.
Yeah, and the Hunter's Blind is taken by Woodman TR.
Yes. Although Miller is on top of the point, I don't think they have enough people to get down there and immediately do a hold.
The
of them,
Reavers
so.
are still trying to make a fight of this. I mean, they're here. I don't see as many of them, but they're definitely putting up a fight against all of Woodman's Mosquitoes.
Woodman ASA as well.
Heading over there now. There definitely seems to be a breath of life into Woodman here. Between that Mosquito run and these two base captures, they seem to have decided this is the time for another offensive.
Just following this air fight going on, I think Woodman is beginning to get out-popped in terms of aircraft. I think Miller's realized the threat, realized this is your air Zerg. We will kill you off, and therefore you will be, down on vehicle and down on air resources.
It's such a shame. I mean, that was such an amazing flank. The Miller Air had no idea where they were there. It was just suddenly there was a platoon of Mosquitoes at them, and I think it looked to me like they got completely wiped out of the air. But the thing is, Miller obviously seems to be able to pull immediately. They're probably not on timers. They've probably been sitting there, and they can just say, okay, well, you wiped us, well, here we coming.
And they're slowly saving the ticker as well at construction site beta.
At Woodman ASE, the TR look like they are completely wiped out of the Banana Building, or as I call it, the Crescent Building, and they have gotten a point back and seem to have stopped this cap. I don't see another spawn that the TR can use here.
A small squad of Woodmen dropped from the Galaxy before it was blowing up, trying to get into the capture point, but it looks like Miller's decided to stay and make sure the space is fully saved. And it needs to be, because they can't, they can't. No, they can make an attack on Hades Guide up from East of Can Depot, but they just want to save it. And what's interesting is Woodman ASC is that still ticking down, or is Miller saved it? It looks like Miller saved it.
Miller has saved it, yeah.
And it looks like Extic Power Regulation is being attacked by Miller as well. In the south, construction site Lambda has been saved by NC, and they are trying to take Hunter's Blind, but it looks like Woodman is coming in.
I'm going to head to Ixotab Power if you want to check
going to
out
Hunters.
something else. Okay.
So Hunter's Blind been saved by Woodman. Though there is an air force for Miller, Galaxies and Reavers trying to help out. There's just too many Woodman forces on the ground.
So the TR have very smartly set up some sunders and things in the vehicle bay. I guess it's actually the bridge underneath the base at
it's the
Ixotab
power
Power.
station?
And they are trying to push out of there, but the NC are now trying to take down the generator and seem to have those doors completely camped. I'm heading upstairs right now to see what the fight is on the point. I see it flashing right now, so...
Oh yes, I see that. That's nice. I like this inner bay. Lots of good vehicles and sunders. But the shield generator, as you said, has just been taken down. I don't see many ground vehicles for Miller, so I don't think they can capitalize this and get rid of the...
No, and there is platoons of people for the TR on the point right now. I mean, they have just they're warping all over the place for me. So.
Yep, and they've got the point back.
So that was a large-scale resecure for Woodman.
Now there is a Miller force. It only looks like it's a small one going for Chak Fusion, so the north is going slightly more. It's kind of like a stalemate going back and forth. Miller has made some good progress in the center of the map. Oh wow, they are actually trying to be a nuisance at Bravata PMC compound, and they were being a nuisance at a staggered Mesa outpost. I'm going to have a look at Chak Fusion.
Okay. I'm headed back down to Hunter's Blind because it is yet again back in Miller's hand. Honestly, I know people don't particularly like this base on live, and I think that this is the perfect example of ServerSmash. You know, the ServerSmash tactics are different. We're going to start doing what people do here.
If you fail, go back immediately.
If you fail, go back. Don't worry about the jump pads. Just drop on and do a point hold. This has become the new base to just, you know what, guys? We're going to sit here and we're going to see if we can hold what they throw at us. And that's what this has been all match.
Okay, so I'm kind of freaking out some of the attackers at Chak Fusion Lab. Because I'm in the observer camera, I want to see what outfit they are. I'm pressing Q. And they're like, you know, enemy medic in the area. And they're like, oh, what's that? There's going to be somewhere around here. But they do have a small squad kind of around Alpha. Oh wow, that's a lot of lightnings coming in from the rear by Woodman. What? They must have hacked Kessel's antiquated crossing and then come back to Chak Fusion with their vehicles, perhaps looking for Miller's Sunderers. They find a flash. If anything, this is really just... Get inside, buddy! You have no idea what's coming. Oh, the beacon for Miller. Okay.
This is the first time I've seen Miller push out of the actual cap point at Hunter's Blind. They are, instead of trying to just hold the cap point, they are trying to hold the choke points that the TR need to use to get to the cap point. This is a much better tactic. You don't allow them access to you, and they can't throw grenades at you. From the bottom, it looks like they're doing a very good hold. I'm trying to see through the smoke up at the top to see if they're doing the same. This looks like a much better hold this time than the last couple of times I've been here.
Well, we're watching the small force at Chak Fusion Lab, and it's simply just too small. It's only one squad, and the problem is there's too many entrances. Woodman's redeployed with a large number, well, I think a larger number of defenders, and the problem is they're attacking from all directions. It's just too difficult to defend. Now there is an infiltrator somewhere. I don't know if he got picked off trying to stay alive. Oh, look at this light assault. Oh, did he escape? He did. Oh no, he's going to attack from all sides. I thought he might have gotten away, but there you go. Okay.
Woodman is doing a massive push at Hunter's Blind. They are trying to break through these outside containments that they have. They're just getting torn apart at the corners, though. I don't know. This might be the time where Miller can actually stop this push.
You still
They
have
haven't
Miller Air
allowed them
Force. I'm
anywhere
here
close
watching
to
it with you. I mean, they're holding that top balcony bridgeway. They're really trying to make a push, an element of here's smoke, you can't come across, you can't push, and they are also fighting on the eastern side as well. That's a huge number of Miller outside on the eastern lane. I don't think Woodman can do this. Even with 60 seconds, there's just so much Miller. I mean, they are being pushed back slowly on the north bridge, but there's just a massive number of Miller on the lower level.
They have managed to collapse a little bit on the east side.
I mean, there's nothing really coming across the western upper platform, and on the lower eastern, Miller's actually pushing, you know, Woodman back rather than the other way around, without any air force for, you know,
The
Woodman
center
to
has
suppress
broken.
them.
The center has broken. There's a couple TR that are pushing through the center lane right now. They're getting mopped up a little bit. They don't have any
Yeah,
friends
but with
behind
19 seconds and the smoke going off, and they have to get down the top. And
them. Oh, they're on the point. There are people pushing to the point.
when Miller's just going to fall back on the point, you have so many people on the outside. You never know. 6 seconds to go. Woodman needs to run on the capture point. They got people on the capture point. They're barely alive, but they're getting picked off as they come in the door, and Miller gets the base.
The enemy has the facility. A costly failure.
That was a much better point hold from Miller
Oh,
that
but they're
time.
pushing the top. Oh, it's so... It's like an extra 20-30 seconds. Woodman would have had it. And Miller's been cleaned out, but they're recalling back in with the squad beacons, trying to make sure that Woodman doesn't have the chance to set up. But with the base and their air force, I don't see how they could lose it now with their focus. And, oh, I tell you what, Miller at a certain point managed to get themselves Four Fingers, but Four Fingers is currently being taken back by Woodman.
I am headed up to Hade Skydock. That looks like an even pop fight that I want to check out here. I've actually found some Woodman Air Force. They are kind of staying below the trees. I assume that's to kind of keep out of the view of whatever Miller is flying around. And they hold 1 point here. Miller does
Hero
have
Mercenaries
2 points.
Engineer. He's going for the point. This is a Mercs Engineer. I saw him. And is he going to go for the point? This Engineer, you got 9 seconds, mate. You need to go for the point. Go for the point. Where are you going? I disapprove. I disapprove greatly. Oh, wait, there's some of them on the point. Last second Mercenaries have got themselves from Miller on the capture point. And... Oh, but the TR's totally responding. They know what's going on. Says, no, you can't have this base. It was a very valiant effort to try and stall the point, but it looks like it doesn't have any reinforcements. And that's it. So Woodman takes Four Fingers.
Done the TR proud today.
A galaxy of reinforcements at the last moment. From 252, it does look so, but it's reinforcements from 252 dropping in. It's just a fraction too late. I mean, they were aware. I was thinking Miller was perhaps giving this base up, but you know they were aware of it, but it's a little bit too late. Right. Hate Skydock, contested back and
I'm
forth.
here.
Nothing happening.
Yeah, it's,
Have a look at Kessel is when you're done.
Okay, I'm heading there now. We are almost with an hour left here. Why don't you give us some more statistics, Farah?
I will indeed. I'm heading over to extra power regulation, and then I'll just give some stats after we see this. Oh, Miller has got himself Sundered in the garage, unlike last time. Lots of Sunders. I mean, we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Sunders, perhaps more. Repair Sunders, giving lots of spawn options. Oh, they've got motion, and they've got a lot of infantry in the point now. Woodman is coming in with a huge force, however. Lots of smoke on the upper raised balcony. Miller is holding on for dear life, I think, because there's so much pressure coming in from Woodman. It's hard to see, there's just so much smoke. Unfortunately, I don't have my heartstring gun to have infrared. I think that's the next thing we'll get, though, is an upgraded observer camera. You can tell roughly by the UIs, I think Woodman is going to lose this. I think Miller might pull this off. They've got a very, very strong group on the center above the alpha capture point. Woodman's trying to come in, but they're coming in straggly, bits and pieces. 20 seconds to go. I think Woodman's going to get this. I mean, the points on the ground floor... It isn't like there's a huge air force, it's just, you know, a very good respawn system and a very good hold on the capture point. Territory numbers, it's 50-50 roughly on this base, and CONZ from Miller assists gets the main benefit, and they get the base. Okay, so
the original capture at Kessel's was repelled. However, there is another Sunder that the TR is trying to push through here. So go ahead and give us some stats while this sets up.
So the we are currently, with 1 hour into the ServerSmash, we are up to 14,600 kills. We've had 1,144 TKs, and it's always going up, and we've had 15,800 deaths so far. And there have been, incidentally, 492 suicides. So we have some very sad people here today. the top 10 weapon kills, right? Anti-vehicle grenade has taken top spot at 617 kills, so we are very AV grenade heavy for breaking points. The LA anchor, one anchor, for Miller's heavy assaults has taken second spot at 610. The Carnage AR has taken third spot at 539, and only then do we have Woodman's first weapon with the mini chain gun at 518, followed by the Gauze at 490, the Carve at 472, and then comes the Breaker rocket pods at 433. And then incidentally we have C4. Well, it's 2 records of C4. I wonder if that's a mistake, but that's about 425. The most contested base so far has been Kessel's Antiquated Crossing with 8 attempts. Hades Skydock is 7, Hunter's Blind is 6. And
Speaking of Kessel's, the TR put some Sunders down, and they are back on the point. They now have 2 Sunders to the west and have managed to get back. There's only a small force of NC that's trying to push in right now, and they're going to need more than that to break this.
We're trying to see what's going on. Yep, I think we'll go have a look at Kessel's. Here we go. So we're looking at Kessel's. Looks like Woodman's got themselves set up with a Prowler on the east side. And they're focusing mainly on the capture point. Got themselves a couple of maxes, a couple of infantry.
Miller managed to get themselves Ixotab power regulation. I don't remember if we mentioned that on the stream.
No, we're talking about that. There's a very strong defense going on.
Seems that Woodman's digging in. Top.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Now.
I mean, the thing is that Miller has other opportunities. They can get, right. So as far as the tactical map goes, we're waiting for the numbers to increase on Kessel's Antiquated, but Miller can make more progress on the northern lane. They can get themselves Jack Fusion Lab before they get to the tech plant. Hades Skydock is a difficult base to take, so they might not make any progress there. They can take staggered. The main lane that they can make impact, however, is Moss Ridge Command Center. That will allow them to.
That's center lane, yeah.
Yeah, because they don't need to go to Bravata PMC, which is a large outpost, and they don't want to go to Ixtab Amp Station because that's an amp station that could take forever, and all territories equal, right? So they could push along with Staggered Mesa, Construction Site Omega. They can push to Vex Biologics if they got Staggered Mesa, and they can go right up and Warpgate. Theoretically, that is probably where I would want to make my main push because it's the easiest bases. In the south, is the fighting's going back and forth between Hunter's Blind and Com Global and Four Fingers. Four Fingers is currently taken down. The problem is, when in the south, they're going to get stuck on the Southgate checkpoint, which is a large outpost. And if they get hydroponics, then they're going to get stuck on terraforming, Genesis terraforming. So there are natural blocks that Woodman can rely on to stop losing territory. However, Miller, I reckon's best option is to attack everywhere, but their main emphasis with their air force at Staggered Mesa's outpost, because it offers.
I'm actually following an IVRI Sunder right now that is headed into Staggered Mesa. They managed to resecure behind them, and they are now trying to push in. They're actually on point at Staggered Mesa as I get here, though they're facing stiff opposition. This is, I believe, an open cap point base. No, I'm sorry, it's in a building off to the side.
Miller isn't. I think they're choosing to ignore Kessel's. Because, oh wait, no 50-50 numbers. Let's see where they are. They've got themselves 70 seconds. One good push is all it requires, I guess. But, I mean, Woodman's very well entrenched. So many maxes lost. Miller is above the capture point, however, with their maxes. They can flank down. Miller's in an excellent position to make a final push on the capture point. Oh, they're surrounding on all sides. I just see it on the minimap with the motion going on. Huge push from Miller at the last moment. And they're rolling the grenades in. This is the problem with this capture point. Woodman needs to defend outside this point because in comes the grenades, in come the congs, in come the res grenades for their own guys, and 29 seconds, they really are leaving to the last moment, but there you go. Miller comes in, they've got enough guys in the point. They're not flipping the point. But finally they're flipping the point. I was thinking, oh, that is intense.
Miller had the point at Staggered Mesa, a little mixed force with only one max of Woodman managed to push in here and take the point back, but they're now getting wiped out by another group of Miller NC that's pushing into the point.
So Woodman has a Sunder on the western gate, but the Reaver's aware of it. He's rocket podding the back. He's no air support for Woodman, and the Sunder goes down. And that's the hard spawn for Woodman dead. We have beacons, but that's about it, and it doesn't look like I have anything else. So I think Miller should safely, successfully save Kessel Antiquity Crossing. Yeah, we're just having a look. Mossridge is taking down. Sorry. Ah, well, you need to save Mossridge, and there's the problem. So do they have another force go back and save? And also, they're losing extra power relation, so we'll go there. Although they are outnumbering the tier force 2-1, so theoretically Miller should make a save for those kind of numbers.
I'm staying at Staggered Mesa. I'll go back and forth between here and Mossridge. The people who were here at Mesa seem to be staying. I haven't seen any mass redeploys yet, so maybe they're sending somebody else.
Okay, a little bit too fast.
Restricted area. Move out, soldier.
Stuck in a void. Miller's made a save. They got themselves a point. Lots of Max's infantry support. Oh wow, just look at that sheer number of people. They must have just really kind of redeployed into there. So Miller's made a save of X-Tab power. The fact is, can they get those same forces then to save Mossridge command? Or perhaps assist? I suppose Staggered Mesa would be nice, but ultimately you want to keep the bases that you have rather than risk the bases that you have for bases that you might not get.
There is nobody from Miller really contesting Mossridge at the moment.
2 minutes to
however,
go.
they have not. Woodman has not done the trick they did before of driving some Sunders directly up onto the point, so it's just infantry in there. I actually didn't even see a max. So.
Well, Miller forces are spawning into Mossridge though. We see at least a couple of squads spawning and they're making exceptionally good use of smoke. I can maybe queue up and see who these guys are. DWG. Got DWG from Miller coming in. As far as the defenders for Woodman, maybe see who's defending for Woodman. We got one FFS. Looks like it's really just one FFS, maybe some of their other guys. I'll have a look at that side. Lots of smoke from Willer though. It does not look like. I wonder if the night vision has been equipped by the Woodman forces. They've lost one of the balconies. It looks like it's only one FFS at the moment for Woodman. Oh wow, look at this. This heavy assault is just staying in the point. They've got it, and they're beginning to slowly push off the other balcony. And Miller's made a save. They've saved Mossridge quite successfully, but in turn they've lost the attack on Staggered Mesa.
And Woodman has also saved SRP Hydro. There was just a massive group of TR who pushed in here. There is still a Miller Sunder here. I'm going down to see if that's managing to stay alive.
I like the fact that Woodman's got double Sunders on a Space Rice Paddy next to the capture point. Problem with
Miller is respawning in and trying to get in, but it's going to be awfully difficult.
And the Miller Sunder goes down at SRP.
I can tell when I'm inside of a large fight because when I try and go to the map takes forever to load because it's like, wait, I can't do all these things at once. I'm headed to construction site Beta up in the north, which looks like it has a Woodman hack going on it. Passing a large Miller Air Force that seems to be prowling around above the trees.
The Miller Air Force is trying to, I can only assume, get kills and certs. The SRP, they've been totally wiped out on the ground. There's maybe a couple of stragglers. I'm trying to see if they've maybe got a Sunder further back, but it doesn't look like it. Maybe just
I arrived at construction site Beta too late. There was a gal drop from Miller that cleared this point, and this is over now. Yes.
The Kessel's TR, they've got Kessel's Antiquated Crossing. They're doing a re-attack. You can see what's going with 1 minute 30 to go. You have a look there and see what's going on.
Kessel's and Hunter's Blind definitely seem to be the hot places.
Stay frosty. This fight is all but won.
TR have a Sunder parked in the western garage, and again, Miller's here with some air. Their air isn't going to do anything at this base. They need people on the ground, maybe some vehicles if they can get creative harassers down there to at least help them push into the point.
we're currently at 58 to 41, right? How many territories does Woodman need to take to get back to being balanced?
I would have to look at the map here. Hold on. I think that regardless of anything else, they need to get rid of that middle section. That's really what's taking it from them. They're fairly even at the northern side. They're even fairly even in the south, at least in testing. But what they've lost is Gurney and Woodman ASC and South Akon and all the way into Moss Ridge. That's where they've lost most of their territory. And the gains that that Miller has gotten aren't just the neutral territories of those center lanes. They've also taken those 4 bases away from them, and now are back at Staggered Mesa trying to take that as well. So if they need to take anywhere, they need to make up what they've lost in the center. And maybe they do that in the center, maybe they do it in the south or the north.
XDT just made a stunning last-second save on the capture point. They didn't have as many numbers as they did last time in the push, but they flanked him from both sides. One side was stopped, but the other side pushed in. And although it looks like there's a huge number on the map now, that's because more and more Miller forces are just respawning in and making a save. The actual
You're talking at Kessel's?
At Kessel's, it was flanking the side and coming in, and then just made a kill, and it was very, very close. Woodman TR almost got it, like within like few seconds. We can see Woodman TR has gone back to construction site beta again, I think.
If we're talking about the game of inches of do you secure the base in that last second or do you lose the base in that last second, Miller's winning that game. They may not be winning everything else.
Ballsy. So Woodman just had a galaxy who dropped like a whole bunch of guys. But let's be clear, they are ridiculously outnumbered. I mean, where do you see it where, right guys, I'm gonna drop you into like a hornet's nest. You're outnumbered 5 to 1. Good luck. You were like, I don't want to do that. Woodman's pushing from the south. They must have a Sunder. Can you check out Staggered, please?
I am at Staggered right now, yes.
We've got a very nicely hidden Sundra to the south. It is allowing a redeploy of Woodman to spawn in and still contest the capture point. The problem is, Miller isn't leaving. They know that Woodman's still in forces. They can see the minimap and follow logically where the Sundra is. And the problem is that the reinforced time, i.e.
They just lost the stairs, though. Small stairs are gone, big stairs are gone, and the
number
Woodman
2
TR
to 1
are pushed in now. Yeah.
It looks like Woodman TR are trying to make another push on extra power regulation, and Miller's trying to make a push on Space Rice Paddy. So if you want to check Space Rice Paddy, I'll go down south after this fight at Kessel is over. I tell you what, Woodman, they're not giving up. They have managed to flank themselves all the way to the west. I think it's because Miller's redeploying. It's down to it's 50-50 numbers. Miller's still trying to make a save. They've still got a minute 40 to save. So I mean, if Woodman was to grab this point, it'd be less than a 3-minute base capture. They're slowly applying pressure. If you look at the name. I don't see many maxes for Woodman, however, whether or not they're low or out. Miller's being focused and contained only inside the capture point. They're going to be very susceptible to grenades and flanking from all directions, which looks like what's going on.
Massive TR, Mozzie and Galaxy Force heading towards Moss Ridge.
I am at Space Rice Paddy, SRP Hydroponics, and large Mirror Force on the point. So far, the TR have not even managed to get up onto the actual dais where the building sits. They're trying to run around on the ground and do flanking maneuvers. There is a significant, there was a significant Air Force presence here from Miller that we know from previous experience here, if you can manage to bulldog the only couple of main routes across from the spawn room, you're going to make life really difficult for those people trying to respawn and resecure this base. Although there is a great deal of TR spawning in right now, we might be seeing a large push here in a moment.
So the Woodman force that's currently defending Kesselanskut crossing, an extremely valiant defense. I mean, they're outnumbered 2 to 1 if not more, and they've managed to get the cap point almost back to a complete save. They did have some guys at Chak Fusion Lab, but they weren't able to get the point because they didn't finally save it. So Woodman's going to have to come back and make a proper save with only 3 minutes 20 to go. So we'll come back here in a sec. We're going to have a look at Moss Ridge. You said there was an Air Force there? Oh, well, we see the Miller's Air Force. The Miller's Air Force at Moss Ridge. They're trying to maybe make